carry. And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29. These two teams, of course, met in the much dissected divisional round game a season ago, and they also met opener last year. And Adrian Peterson's return to Minnesota, gosh, that seems like a lifetime ago. It was actually Peterson's replacement. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Joey Bosa in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers eluding the pressure right. It's complete here to T.Y. Hilton. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, of that marker. They'll try and pick it up with Lewis. And this is going to be nowhere close. Needed some inches and ended up losing yardage. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. A beautiful, and his first carry, he loses the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. That's probably bringing back nightmares of last week, isn't it?
No doubt about it. Right now I'm looking over at the coaching staff, and I'm seeing the wheels turning in their heads. And you know what is happening? They're remembering how they started the season in camp, even in the offseason where they emphasized ball security, and they're wondering why the message isn't sinking in.
Yeah, 5 turnovers last week, now 1 here in the opening quarter. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Joey Bosa in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Being chased out left. And he locates Walker, complete. And all the way down to the 39. A big play for the Saints on 3rd down. 44 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Rodgers now on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. Connects with Sanu right side. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Throwing is Rodgers. Looking for Garcon, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jarrad Davis. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. The drive starts here with a carry by Ingram. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be... Second down. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he fires one incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, and it's 3rd down. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's caught at the 25. And all the way down to the 24-yard line.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Ohio! Flex round!
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. And that is incomplete. The linebacker, C.J. Mosley, there in coverage.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd down, Ingram. And down inside the 15 he goes. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. 2nd quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on blocks and be a force in the run game, as we just saw there.
So still no touchdowns in the 1st half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Rodgers. Flushed out right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
Now it's Rodgers. Buying time to his left. Looking deep here for Dion Lewis. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or two shy of midfield. That had disaster written all over. You've got a right-handed quarterback, a rolling left, and throwing it pretty far downfield.
It's really difficult to do, to try and get your body twisted around into the proper position and get anything on the ball as you heave it downfield. And that's what it actually turns into, a heave. And that's not really a good throw, is it?
Not good, and we saw the result. Defensively, the tackle by Cam Chancellor.
Despite the blitz, he's still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously, more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math, they did it well, and it works for them.
After the penalty, it's Ingram. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 12 more yards there and another first down.
That's a football play right there. That takes me back a little bit. Toss sweep to the right. Get it to your back. Get a lot of people out in front. Control the line of scrimmage. Wide receivers blocking downfield. It almost feels like half the crowd is in front of him. Getting it down to the secondary. They have a tough time getting him down.
They'll be brought down at the 21 after a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Ohio! Ohio! Here we go!
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And this one's incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target. And it's third down.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes this one down to the 15. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. This quarterback now just 3 of 6 throwing it, but that last completion gets a first down. A 10th carry here for Mark Ingram. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. A handoff. It's Mark Ingram. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. Two minutes remain here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this. They'll run here with Ingram. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Mark Ingram, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Barely got the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. This two shall pass, and in fact, we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass, and that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. Flush to his right, throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. First down now, but that clock rolling. On first down, Rodgers. Over the middle to Garcon. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Hey, we're not going.
Into the red zone, it's Rodgers. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Well, this is how you shape the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football. I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
The Saints on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd-and-1 situation. This is Lewis. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Now a toss play to Lewis. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. Dion Lewis, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Saints are back within a score. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football, full half to be played. A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10. They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Ohio! Ohio! We got 3. Let's go! What? 90! What? 90!
They'll drop to throw. Forced out to his left. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Vontae Davis. And a potential turning point as they'll get the football in very good field position late in this first half. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Eluding the pressure right. And complete to the tight end Walker right side. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. So we've reached halftime here in Minnesota with the Vikings on top. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90. Flex round. Flex round. Ohio. Ohio. Cut.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, didn't look his way at all in the first half. And I'll bet you the offensive coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
They'll set up a throw. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
This is taken at about the 14. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like in the half? Because that's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
To throw, it's Rodgers. He's going to go, and Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Josh Jackson, and he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And that's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They run. It's Mark Ingram. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. call it a pickup of 7, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Flex round! Flex round! Ohio!
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. So they get a traffic there, and that's complete. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Another carry for the workhorse tonight, Ingram. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. He'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Now back to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. So not only do they get the fumble recovery on the punt, but now look at this field position. He almost took it the distance.
And the ability to not just make the play, but turn it into something big, that's what coaches harp on all the time. How do we create big plays that'll change the game? And that may have been one that just did.
So now, just like that, things change dramatically. It's 1st and goal.
Come on, let's go!
They'll try to get the ground game going with Ingram. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Come on, let's go! What?
They'll give it to him up the middle. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
I know they've got to be careful not to go to the well too often, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Because sometimes, if you've got success, you want to just keep pounding away.
But no success there. They rallied quickly on the defensive end.
Flex round! Flex round!
They'll try and run. Ingram. Call it no gain on the play, so no help there. And now 4th and goal.
This drive started with 1st. Now that it's 4th and goal, anything less than a touchdown would feel like a letdown to me.
And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. Now the offense, they got the ball in a great spot, but they went nowhere. Just the 3.
And they'll be, happy taking the 3. But those guys on the other side, they get anywhere. It made them kick a field goal. That almost feels like they got the advantage, doesn't it?
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Shaq Thompson on the tackle that time.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Rodgers going to throw. Escaping the pressure right. What can't Aaron Rodgers do? The legwork there getting him the first.
Looks to me, partner, like he's learned a little bit, because earlier in the game, I think he was trying to force a lot of throws into his windows that just weren't open.
Yeah, the interceptions had plagued him, especially a second interception, really a bad throw. So maybe a better decision there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think he learned from earlier in the game, and he's applying it now.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Rodgers on the bootleg. And Walker has it. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Nick Vigil in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Working from the gun, Rodgers steps away to his left. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. A breakdown defensively there as the scramble is going to set him up with a much more manageable third down. The Saints on third down, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Now Rodgers. And he's got his man Hilton. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They come up on a 1st and goal, and most likely 4-down territory as they need a touchdown and the PAT for the lead. Off the toss, Lewis. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Dion Lewis with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Saints can take the lead if they can hit the extra point. Bullock out now to kick this one away. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league,
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. So they take over not only in enemy territory, but in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Now they'll run with Lewis. And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Again, it's Lewis. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal. Great time there to come up with his longest run of the night. We just saw it.
Leads to a lot of satisfaction because if they're able to hang on and win this game, you know what else will happen in the locker room after this?
What's that?
Head coach will step up and go, great job, guys. Because of that, come in a little bit late.
And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Saints take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash in for 6. Extra point up and good by Bullock. And that will ensure that it will take a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it. And now out comes Minnesota. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. And a 20th carry now for Ingram. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down. We talked early on about this defense needing to hold him under 100 yards. He's had a few good runs, but he is under 100 and maybe not quick. He's got it at the 15. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A big play there for Minnesota. 57 yards. First and goal, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion here are musts. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. First and goal, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion here are musts. They'll look to run with Ingram. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up second and goal.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. K1 short in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll. Back to throw. Flushed. Touchdown, Minnesota. All right, now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come. They'll look to throw. And it's caught. And with it, we are tied here in the fourth. Huge conversion there to tie this thing up, but they're not done yet. Their defense needs to get a stop.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time for the other team to come downfield and put some points on the board, but job one was taken care of. The 2-point conversion to get this thing tied.
That's fielded in the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They need to get this around the 40 to have a chance to win it in regulation. From the 40, it's a 57-yard field goal, so that gives you a gauge.
And all they're trying to do now is pick up yardage in good chunks and get out of bounds to stop the clock. If they end up running a play and get tackled in bounds, they're worried the clock may run out on them and finish the game.
And they'll have to be careful how they handle this. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Rodgers now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Throwing now is Rodgers. Flush to his right. Connects with Sanu right side. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now Lewis. And he'll be taken down at the 34. Give the tackle that time to Rodney McLeod.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They try again with Lewis. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. So it all comes down here to the right foot of Randy Bullock. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. So it all comes down here to the right foot of Randy Bullock. 2 seconds on the clock. This for the win. And it's good. He got it. He missed his lone attempt earlier, but he connects when it matters most. And Bourbon Street, it'll be alive tonight. The Saints have won it. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run.